All right, welcome to the Grown Up Show, everybody. We're being a grown up as always, up for debate. My name is Danny Barros, alongside my good buddy Tony Hall.
That was weird, bro.
See what I did there? Threw in the Tony. It got me thinking the other day, like a couple people call me Daniel, and I'm just like, I don't really like I don't really go by my full name. I've always been a Dan or Danny guy. And then I'm just like, I know a lot of people who are the other way, like you've always been an Anthony guy. You've never been a Tony guy, you know?
It's really funny because you've always been Danny to me, but at the same time you've also been Dan, but like it's Dan to me hasn't been like it's like a lot of like my family call me Ant, short for Anthony. Like Dan is not short for Daniel to me. Dan is short for Danny to me, right?
Yeah,
so it's like your name to me is still, even though your official name is Daniel, to me it's Danny. And then like sometimes I'll be like, oh, shut up, Dan, just like for short, like, you know. But the Tony thing's always been an interesting thing to me because my name is so generic. I feel like I have all these random ass nicknames, and it's funny because a lot of people call me Tony, but it's always work related. And then
it's so funny you mentioned that, dude. Go on.
So, and it's fine. It doesn't bother. When I was a kid, I used to hate it when people called me Tony, and I have no idea why. Because I actually kind of don't mind it, and I've kind of grown to almost prefer it. But I feel like it's too late in my life to call up all my family members. Hey, by the way, you know, I need you to start calling me Tony. So,
it'd be a little weird.
Yeah. So, but every job, it's people have gravitated towards Tony. I mean, I've just been like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care. I mean, I register it, so it's all the same. But it's funny when like I introduce like a coworker to a family member and they say Tony, and my family member is always like, what? Who's Tony? You know?
Yeah.
So, but the other thing that's funny, which I think I might have mentioned this in the past, but maybe not. My last name's Hall. I've always introduced myself as Anthony, but my friends like you're actually one that I've had this exact scenario I'm gonna explain happen with. Is my close friends my close friends call me Hall, just for short. It's easier, one syllable. I get it, you know, and it's been my
pat it on your back, you know.
Yeah,
that's how we remember.
But it's been really what my true nickname is, or short name is. People just call me Hall.
Yeah.
But sometimes, especially this happened a lot in high school and right out of high school, going to parties and stuff. Perfect example, you with Sac State going to a bunch of parties up there, you're introducing me to your buddies as, oh, this is my buddy Hall. And then as the night goes on, Hall slowly turns into Paul. And then at that point, it's like, let's rewind here. Let me break this down for you. Because now it's just like, you're way off. Okay. My name is Anthony. My last name is Hall. People call me Hall for short. Paul has nothing to do with me. I actually have an uncle named Paul who's the biggest piece of shit in life. So I'd rather you not call me Paul. So, yeah. So I have all these nicknames. I have one brother used to call me Antoine, which turned to Twan. I have a few people that call me Twan. A bunch of people call me Anthony, Tony, Hall, Paul, you name it, dipshit, you know, whatever.
It's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that about work though, like how they call you Tony, because like I kind of have the opposite happen to me, where it's like you put your full name on the application, okay, and people don't understand, you know, that you might be called something else, obviously, so they call you by the full name, Daniel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, it's like, okay, like in my current job, it's like my immediate like department knows I go by Dan because like I talk to them, you know, and it's just like, hey, Dan, or I introduce myself, hey, my name's Dan, you know, on the first day. So they know me as Dan. But every other department, email comes through as Daniel, right? Because it's like that's how they put me in the system. And so every other department I go to, it's like I'm Daniel to them, and I'm just like I have to remember that that's me, that they're talking about me. Like okay, yeah, like that's fine. And no matter, these are people who I've emailed with so many times, and I always sign my name, Dan. Like, you know, like I don't sign Daniel. You know, it's just really weird. But like. So I'll go way back to high school though with this, because like I had a funny story. I used to work at a restaurant here in Pacifica. I was a busboy. Got the job when I was like 15. Okay, like and same thing. Like name's Daniel on the application, and so the woman who's like the manager is like walking me through the kitchen. All the Mexican guys, Latino guys, whatever, all the cooks and sous chefs in there. It's like I'm shaking hands, and like she's like introducing me as Daniel, and for whatever reason, they thought she was saying Manuel. because I'm like walking back through the
Oh
kitchen
my
later,
gosh.
and they're like, hey, Manuel, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, what's up? You guys being hella nice. Like, I'm just gonna roll with this. Like, it's fine, you know. And then they're not like talking like this to the other busters, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know. And like, we used to be like, you could only get a few things on the menu as an employee, and like, because my name was Manuel, like chef was like offering me like if I wanted like leftover prime rib or like whatever it was, and
Oh
I was
my
like, this is sweet, man. Like, out
oh.
there in the dining room, I'm Daniel, and here I'm Manuel. It's like this is working out for me. And then it's like, and then like I think like a year later, I corrected one of the guys, and he's like, don't worry about it, Manuel. He just kept calling me Manuel.
No biggie. I'm gonna start calling you Manuel. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
great, dude. That's
yeah.
what's that called? What's the term when you are it's a big thing that's been thrown around lately. I'm drawing a blank on it. I think I have a concussion and we're gonna get into that story in a second, but
Yeah, yeah.
I need to remember this
Or
damn
like
word.
politically correctness or
No,
something.
it's when you're like acting as another race.
Oh,
What is
oh,
that damn word?
yeah. I don't know, but
That's what you
you
totally
know,
did. Whatever
I
that word
wasn't trying to
is.
do it in a negative way, but
No, you did it in a positive way to get better food. I think
it
that's
worked.
totally acceptable.
It worked. But I mean, but it's interesting though. Still, the names. It's like anytime anybody introduces themselves as Michael to me, I'm always gonna call you Mike. Like that's
Yeah.
just who I am. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
never
I'm the
gonna call
same
you
way.
Michael. Or Jeffrey. I'm never gonna call you Jeffrey. Like it's
Yeah.
just like that's just what it is.
So
But
here's the thing with those types
you
of
know,
names, and even with your name, like the super, like, I don't want to call your name generic, but the very standard names,
right,
Daniel,
right.
Michael,
It's
the
not too
people
unique
that
these days.
that go by the full name like that, they're usually douchebags.
Or there's
I've
just
come
something
to like,
off-putting about them. It's like,
yeah. Well, like
you know.
because I've had that interaction where like I've been like, hey, my name. I've been introduced to someone. They're like, my name is Michael, and I'm like, hey, Mike, nice to meet you. It's Michael. Oh,
Yeah,
so you're a
yeah,
douchebag, basically.
yeah. So you're one of those Michaels,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Well, listen here, Michael. Yeah. I
But
don't know.
yeah, I
It's just a
mean,
vibe I get.
I get it. It's a preference. You want to be called a certain thing, but it's just, it's like
Yeah.
I feel like shortening a name or a nickname like offers a different level of like intimacy with somebody. And sometimes when it's like somebody you don't know very well, you kind of need that as like an additional icebreaker to like
Yeah.
have a more like casual conversation about certain things. It makes that person feel like you're a little bit more invested in them rather than just like what their name is on their name tag on their surface. It's like it's a little bit more personable. And so that's why I always do it, and that's why I always feel like I want people to do it to me because I want the feeling to be reciprocated.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
For sure.
anyway,
Uh
anyway,
I
before
think
you get into your dome story, I think we should just get into a beer.
I was just gonna say that. I've been itching to open this beer, so
Let's do it. You go first. Go for it, man. Since
all
you're
right.
itching
All
so
right.
much.
So this is one of my all-time favorite beers, dude. And I haven't been able to find it in a couple months. I don't think it's seasonal. I think just maybe I don't know, maybe COVID slowed shit down or something. But so
Probably.
this is from Great Notion Brewing in Portland, and it's called Jammy Pants.
I
So
love that name.
I've learned. I think I am one of the fruity beer guys for sure,
Yeah, you're a hazy
and
guy,
I'm
which is
accepting it.
fine.
This is a tart ale with strawberry and raspberry, and I don't care what anyone says. This thing is freaking delicious. So here it
Money.
is. Here's our label.
Oh, it's got a sick can and everything too.
Yeah, yeah. So it's cool. I feel like you have like a real, like authentic beer when it has the can has the like sticker label on it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like so.
One of the cool things I do with the sticker labels, if I'm trying a new beer, like I try to peel them off, and a lot of them come off very easily.
Yeah.
And get a nice like wall in your garage or something, and
Oh
just put them
yeah,
put them all up, and it
that's not a
looks
bad
hella
idea.
sick, especially when you get like a new one, like you add it to the wall. It's like you're not gonna do it with like the same one just because drank all of them in the 4 pack or whatever, but you're gonna every time you get a new one, you slap a new sticker up there. So
Yeah. But since I'm so real quick, this it's a 7% alcohol. It doesn't have the IBUs on it, unfortunately, but I've kind of learned it. It's probably lower. Um, but I've been itching for this. I've been holding this for tonight because, like I said last week, I'm really trying to get the grind on my weight here. So I'm down to this is pretty much the only beer I'm drinking, one beer a week for the
yeah,
show. If I'm doing some like yard work or some hard housework on the weekend, then I'll have one on the weekend. But
yeah, why not?
I'm not
You
drinking a
deserve
beer
it.
a night like I used to right now. Especially I got my Peloton coming next week. I'm pumped for that.
Nice.
I'm just about to pull the trigger on my I'm getting a punching bag for the garage.
Nice, dude.
So I'm getting that motivation back. I kind of like dipped off for a couple weeks just because the craziness and then having those 2
It
weeks off.
happens, for sure.
But yeah,
You
so
need those deliveries to come, and then you'll get motivated once again for sure,
yeah, I actually when we stop here, I got to order my damn shoes. I keep forgetting to order the shoes because the Peloton bike, they're trying to make you feel like you're freaking out
You gotta
on
clip in and stuff,
yeah. So I got to order the stupid, but I didn't get the Peloton shoes because I felt like the whole damn thing's a complete ripoff. I totally
Yeah.
just fell for the trap, but I decided I'm not getting any of their accessories. I'll go through other avenues for that stuff. But I got a discount for Nike right now, so I'm gonna get their shoes that are really nice. That they're like $120 a pair, but my discount gets them down to 80. So I'll be able to get a pair for me and my wife that are a little bit cheaper than the Peloton ones, but they're
Nice.
Nike. So
Well, yeah, Nike's
they're
still gonna
gonna
be good stuff,
be
you know?
built relatively good.
Well, the
So
cool thing about Nike is, like, if you get, like, a real bike, you can use them with those instead of,
yeah,
like, wearing Peloton shoes, like, going around the neighborhood, like, that's
yeah,
a that'd
yeah.
be weirder, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. So,
So,
and they look clean. They're just nice, all white. I'm gonna feel like I'm touring de France. You
Tour
know.
de France, Lance Sir
So
Lance Armstrong.
I'll make sure I shoot myself up in the butt cheek real quick before I hop on the Peloton and.
When are you gonna open that beer,
Woo.
dude?
Oh shit. Okay, sorry. I've been waiting for this and now I'm like
I'm just calling,
delaying.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of Lance Armstrong, did you watch the Lance Armstrong, like, 30 for 30?
I
It
did.
wasn't the 30 for 30, but it was like
Yeah.
it was called Lance,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my god, dude! Just the smell of this gets me excited. It smells so fruity. God damn it!
Yeah,
You
I
know
don't
what I
even have to
mean?
go. Yeah.
I could just sit here and smell this all night. I probably look like a freaking creeper right now. Ugh. Dude, there's something about some beers, man. You know what this is like? This is like when you bust your ass off in the blazing sun. And I know you've done this. And I know
Yeah.
you can probably maybe you're really into beers, but like you can still relate with this. When you bust your ass in the blazing sun, whether you're digging or whatever you're doing, I swear there's nothing better than a fucking Corona with a lime slice.
Well,
Like,
I think it's just at that point, there's nothing better than just an ice cold beer, and you could just leave it at that.
yeah, but
Like,
you're
you
not
could
gonna go grab some fucking double IPA. You want some just dirty water that just has that
well, if
little
I
bit of
had
bite.
if double IPA was the only thing in arm's reach in
Well,
my
then
fridge,
yeah.
then I would do it, but yeah, I'm with you, dude, like, I will drink that's where I go to, like, the Coors Light or the Bud Light or something like that, like, when I'm working, just throw some hard, easy cans, but
Yeah.
lately, it's been, I've swapped out, like, the Coors Lights or things like that for the White Claws, you know? They're not
Yeah,
bad,
yeah,
you
that's
know?
true. Okay, let me touch on. I want to touch on that, but I want you to do your beer because I'm getting mad at seltzers right now, and I
Okay.
wanna touch on it.
See, that was the only seltzer that I've ever tried, and I will get there, but anyway, my beer, um, I feel like this beer, I mean, I obviously, the title just struck me, and I thought it was an appropriate, beer to drink with all that's going on these days. It's called Black is Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
And it's a pecan pie stout. Now I'm not a stout guy. First of all, like I've always been like, I don't really care about stouts. It's like it's not that they're bad beers to me. It's just like it's not a beer that I prefer, so
Mhm.
I tend to not usually gravitate that way. But like I must say, like over the last 6 months, I've had probably like three of them. This one included, and they're perfect to have that many over 6 months for me. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like to have them every once in a while. It's like they're very sweet, heavy, like dessert beers, I call them. But they're great. This one's from Crowns and Hops Brewing Company, and they had a little expose on the news of these guys like a couple months ago, when after the George Floyd thing hit, and they've been basically making this beer ever since that. And
that's cool.
and there was some kickback from the purchase of these that went to some. I don't have them exactly, in front of me, but they are going to some very good organizations and community groups out there that need assistance for sure. So that's also one of the reasons why I was like, oh, for sure, it's a good cause. Like I'll buy it and I'll taste it. I'll check it out. So it's a pecan pie pastry stout. It's 7%,
Hmm.
and it tastes like you just bit into a pastry stout. Let me tell you. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Um,
Ah, it's black and beautiful and
this is a
wonderful.
trip, dude. Because the thing that always trips me out about this beer is it just has such a potent, like fruity bite to it, but it's good. I'm gonna send you one of these.
Yeah, I like that. Like, Altamont Beer Works has another one that's really fruity like that called Berry Cool, and it's packed with tons of fruit flavor, and it's they call it an imperial fruit ale, an
Hmm.
IFA, instead of an IPA.
Hmm.
Oh man, it's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, but they're again like everybody has their style of beer that they gravitate to, and it's like some people like for me, it's like the pastry stouts or the stouts, like I can't have too many of them, but they're still good every once in a while.
Yeah.
Same thing with like the really fruity ones. It's like they're good, but they're not the type of beer that you're gonna have two or three of like in any
Oh
given
yeah,
night.
I
Like
can
you're
agree
just
with
gonna
that.
get
Like
sick off of it by that.
yeah, like this thing, for me, it is one beautiful can, and I'm done. I'll
Yeah,
switch to something
yeah.
else for sure. Okay, so before I get on my seltzer rant, this damn word has been bugging me, so I had to Google it real quick. So your Manuel story is cultural appropriation.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's what it is. So you acted Spanish for gain.
But I am Spanish. My
Eh,
origins are from Spain. I
eh,
write that on every application,
mm,
my SATs,
mm-hmm,
c but, it is what it
mm-hmm.
is. It's a technicality. I'm looked at as more white because of where I live and,
just,
yada, yada, yada.
just shut up, dude. All right, I gotta talk about this. All right,
Yeah.
White Claws. White Claws appeared from thin
Ain't
air.
no laws when you're drinking claws. I'm just kidding.
They appeared from thin air. I want to
They
like
did. They just came out of fucking left field
I
and
want to
said,
like movie
"Hey,
voice
we're
this.
here."
Like White Claws literally came from nowhere.
Oh my god.
They took over the world, and it was a beautiful thing. White Claw's cool. I'm down with some
I'm
seltzers.
down with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's great. It's a nice change of pace. It still has a decent kick. It's good. Nothing lame about it. You're not a if you're a dude, you're not a bitch for drinking these things. I
No.
hate that thing. But what's pissing me off is the Bud Light seltzer craze right now.
Well, yeah, anybody who else trying to keep up with White Claw, dude, it's
Yeah,
like
but
you're
here's the
making a
thing, dude.
knockoff that's just
Like,
not any good,
yeah,
you know?
it's a fucking joke. They taste. I've had them. They literally taste like shit. I don't care who you are or who you think you are. They're dog shit. It's just a hype train. Probably partially because Post Malone's promoting it.
Yeah.
Partially because we live in a society now where something new comes out. You have to be the first one to be the one to claim that. Oh, I'm cool because I'm doing this now. They're
Yeah, yeah.
trash. They're complete trash.
No.
And like it's and now like Corona has theirs, and it's just like
Yeah.
you know what would have made the difference? What like why Bud Light? Why didn't you change the name? Like that's
Yeah,
stupid.
you could have called it, like, Anheuser Seltzer or
Yeah,
something,
it's just
like
stupid. Like why are you trying to associate it with a beer? It's nothing like a beer.
yeah.
So I don't know. It just bugs me. I tried a couple different flavors, and I mean White Claw's good. There's a few flavors I really enjoy. I've got a 12 pack in my fridge 24/7
Yeah.
because there's something I haven't been drinking them lately because I'm on this one beer a week thing
No, I mean,
as for all
basically, like,
alcohol
anything
beverages, but
anything black cherry is gonna be good, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And,
except
like,
for the Bud
black
Light seltzer.
cherry.
It's terrible.
Right, I understand, but, like, if you're talking, like, Mount White Claw more with, like, the top 4, like, White Claws, it's gotta be black cherry,
Mhm.
watermelon,
Mhm.
mango, and I think they have a, pineapple one?
Yeah, the pineapple
Yeah,
one's one of my favorites. I'm
'cause,
not
like,
too
the
big on the
lemon and the
watermelon,
lime
but
ones are just like, whatever, no big
yeah,
deal.
I'm not too big on the watermelon one, but that's just me. My wife likes that one. I'm just kind of weird with pineapple or watermelon. Like I feel like sometimes watermelon flavored stuff just tastes too fake. Like watermelon's a difficult thing to kind of try to recreate. So, um,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
just me, and that's that. I've learned that over the years that there's a lot of watermelon things people love, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you could basically do anything watermelon for me, and I'm down,
yeah, yeah, a
you
lot
know?
of and a
I'm
lot
one
of
of
I know a
those
lot of people
guys.
like that. It is 100%. I'm the odd one out when it comes to
But you've
watermelon
always been
stuff.
the odd one out
That's
more
true.
often
Oh,
than
because
not.
I'm
Yeah.
left-handed.
I was gonna say it, but
You were
you
gonna
did.
say it. You were totally gonna say it. All right, so I'm gonna be a little out of it tonight because I have to be real. I legit got knocked out by a 4-year-old yesterday.
Dude.
Like
I can't
I'm
wait to hear the
so
story.
I can't even explain how ridiculous this is. So we have these things called nuggets. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're basically like
Like chicken nuggets?
no, they're like couch cushion things that you can make into a bunch of different shapes and chairs and things. They're really cool. They're about 200
Yeah,
250 bucks, but they're great for the kids. And we have a couple of them because it's cool. Like so like one set, what it does is it comes with like these two square cushions that are pretty thick that are attached to each other that fold. And then another set that's a little bit thinner, and then two triangular pieces, and you can kind of shape them into a couch or a chair or whatever.
right.
We have two of them. They build forts out of them and stuff. They're really awesome, and they've been worth every dollar. So last night I'm sitting on the floor, and I just got off work. I'm sitting on the floor, and I have a nugget behind me, and Luke's on the nugget, and I'm just horsing around with Nate, and like we're just playing around. They watch
Yeah.
these silly little shows, and then reenact them. So I'm being one character, and I'm just like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah, and
My kids do the same thing.
dude, just the timing, bro, where like was kind of laying down and they're like, "Oh, we have to go get the bad guy." And I'm like, "We don't have to go anywhere cuz I'm the bad guy." And I like leaned forward to grab Nate, and then like I grabbed Nate and I started to lean back as Luke dove off the nugget to grab me, and the top of his head creamed me like right at the like base of my
Like,
skull behind my
underneath
left
that
ear.
base.
And
Oh
dude,
god.
I'm not even kidding you, like instant migraine. Like I literally had enough time to check on him. He was perfectly fine. Like it just hit him on the perfect hardest spot of his head. It hurt him a little bit, but he was cool. But dude, it knocked my ass out. I literally got up. I like stumbled into the bedroom and I passed out for 14 hours. And
Wow.
I woke up. I still have a ringing in my left ear, and I have I wish I could show you. It's not going to come through, but I literally have like a baseball behind my left ear right now. My wife this morning was just like, "Holy shit, I want to take a picture of that." Like it's
That's
brutal, dude.
crazy, dude.
It's just so weird. It's just a perfect timing. I'm just grateful that he's okay cuz like it made a crack noise. Obviously the crack was
Oh,
my
yeah.
head, not his, but and then like Nate was kind of tripping because he could tell like something wasn't right, dude. Like I like instantly. What's great is I'll send it to you. It was all caught on the Nest Cam, so like you can see
Oh.
it. You can't hear it, and it doesn't look as brutal as it was because like it just was. But it just like I've never been hit there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like I guess
Well,
it's a
anytime you
money
get hit in the
spot,
head, you
man.
just don't know what to expect afterward either, so you're always kinda
Yeah,
like, what just happened?"
yeah, but like
But
I just instant like screeching ringing in my left ear. It's still there. It's getting better. But like all day today, I've just kind of been like, what is going on? So I don't know
yeah.
if it's just like minor concussion or just hurts and I'm being a sissy, but like
No, I
it's
mean,
just a
you got, like
weird spot,
yeah,
dude. Just weird.
you're just gonna have a
Um,
lump for a little while. Be
yeah,
a
but I
little
mean,
bit
I was
tender.
fucking out, dude. Like I went and laid down and I instantly passed out, and I woke up at like 9:30 and I was like, oh my god, dude, like Jen just did everything. Like I had enough time to like text you that we had to delay the recording of this and to tell her what was going on, and she checked on me and gave me some medicine, and then I just freaking was out, dude. I didn't even mean to fall asleep. And then I woke up at 9 and I was starving, so I came downstairs just to grab like a quick bite to eat, and then I instantly went back to sleep and didn't get up till until like 5 minutes before 8 this morning.
I bet your body, like, appreciated that, like, long, like, slumber though,
Oh,
because you're always burning the candle at both
yeah,
ends.
like yeah, and I was gonna leave that out, but it was kind of a very minor blessing in disguise because I do that. Like I'm up till 1,
Yeah.
2 a.m. and then I'm waking up at 7. Like I there's always that one day every couple weeks where I just like I skip out on gaming and stuff and I just crash at like
Yeah, you kinda have to.
the kids go to bed, I'll clean up, and then I'm in bed at like 8:30, and I'm out like a light to catch up. So like it was kind of like nice because like I woke up and I was like still felt loopy. I still feel loopy now, but I'm like full of energy. I'm like ready to go.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you're still ready to go.
yeah, but damn, dude, it was
It's funny you,
crazy.
it's funny, like, when you texted me like that, I was like, "Okay, yeah, no big deal," and then, like, 20 minutes later, we're, you know, goofing around doing the same thing, me and my kids, and, like, I went, like, behind Zach, and, like, I don't know what I was trying to do, but then he was, like, kinda wrestling with, like, Ashley at the same time, and he just, like, whips back like this, like as if he's just gonna lay down on the bed, but he doesn't know I'm behind him, and his back of his head comes, like, right on, like, the side of my, like,
Ooh.
temple ear area and, like, just knocks me, and, like, I'm, like, dazed, and, like, the same thing, like, in your situation, like, Luke was fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I got it too bad, though, like, I was kinda fine, like, 15 minutes later, I was like, "Ah, shit, that hurt," like, still a little tender, but, like, didn't really ring my bell that much. It was more like the bone, like, it's more
Yeah.
sensitive now just as, like, a bruise, but damn, it just scares you. Anytime you get hit in the head, it's just like it really sort of wakes you up and it's like, "Oh, crap."
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
okay? It's like, it's gnarly, man.
Yeah. It
It's
was
gnarly.
last night, I think was the first night I haven't turned this damn computer on and probably since I built it, to be honest. So it was
Wow.
like I just instantly from their room, I got up and I just was like, what the like stumbled down into the bed. I laid down. I was just like, I just needed to like I thought I just needed to take a few seconds and just kind of like
Yeah.
let it pass and settle. And then the next thing I know, it's like 9:15 at night.
It's like reassess
So
what's going on, man.
yeah. But the cool thing is like when and this is what this is like, being a parent, it comes with a lot of pros and it comes with its cons. And it's like the biggest con is a selfish one to me, where it's like you don't have any free time really
Yeah.
it's I mean you do, but in order to have your free time, you have to sacrifice somewhere. For me,
Yeah, you're
my
definitely sacrificing.
yeah, like
Yeah.
my free time is right now, but I sacrifice, a couple hours of sleep to have that. Um,
Yeah.
but you have these moments where it's like it's all worth it, right? So I got up, I went downstairs, got food, and I came back up and I realized my water bottle, which was I had finished at the end of the day, was full on the nightstand, and I had two transformers at the end of the bed. Nate had filled up the water bottle, and Luke had brought transformers to protect me. So it's
Nice.
like, those little things, it just kind of makes it's a nice reminder that, you know what? Yeah, you don't always get to do what you want to do, but you're raising things that are just like the coolest things in the world. So
Right.
it
Exactly.
came with its nice little sweet ending, I guess. And then like this morning, the first thing Nate saw me, he's like, "Oh my God, Dad, I've been worried all night. Are you okay?" So it's just like it's just nice. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and that's a catch 22 because you feel bad because his kids probably, and Nate's very like hyper sensitive and stuff. So he probably
Yeah.
woke up a couple nights and first thing in his mind was, "Oh, I wonder if Dad's okay.
Yeah,
Which
Ryan's
I
a lot
feel,
like that too.
yeah, which I feel bad that he's thinking because I'm fine. I'm just.
Right, yeah, you don't wanna be worried or anything,
But at the
you know?
same time, it's a good feeling that that they care like that. So nice
Yeah.
little
No,
bonus to the
definitely,
whole little weird
definitely.
situation.
Yeah, every once in a while, you gotta remind yourself that it's just like, we'll get a lot of free time, once they're of certain ages and they're no longer around, and that we should really sort of instead of trying to, "Alright, go ahead, do that so I can have some of my own time,"
Yeah,
like, you gotta kinda, like, relish the time that you do have,
yeah,
and it's like you gotta remind yourself of that all the time, and it's hard. It's hard,
yeah,
especially when, what we're dealing with right now with, pandemic and being locked inside all the time, and we're homeschooling, and we've been dealing with fires and smoke down here in California to where it's, you still can't necessarily even go outside as much as you wanted to, even when we were just dealing with a pandemic,
yeah.
and so every once in a while you want to tell them just go away,
Hmm.
but then you just like, it's not your fault. I love you. It's
Yeah,
I think it's great,
yeah, yeah.
you know. So it's hard being a parent, man.
It is, man.
Hard.
It's hard and fun all at the same time, and it's just weird. It's just
I
weird,
know.
like when you getting ready to have kids, you have everyone and their fucking mother wants to tell you what to expect and all this, but there's so many little things that are always left out that when you finally like figure them out or come across them, you're like, why didn't anyone warn me about this? We know one of the biggest things for me that cracks me up still to this day, and it's happened with every kid, and I know it's happened with your kids. It's common is no one ever tells you when you have a newborn that there's gonna be this time where they don't shit for like 8 or 9 days straight.
Oh, yeah.
Like no
Yeah.
one ever preps you for that, and then all of a sudden, as a new parent, you're sitting there and it's like, this dude used to shit like 6 times a day, and we're going on day 8. Like,
Yeah.
is this dude about to blow up? Like,
And then he literally
and then
does.
you call the doctor, and the doctor's like, oh no, they'll go 12, 14 days, and you're just like, why has no one ever warned me about this? I've been sitting
I
here for
know.
the past 8 days freaking out that this kid's about to explode.
I
like,
know.
and not in a good way, like in a movie explosion way, right?
And they
And then
do.
it's like,
They
oh
do
no, it's a
movie explode.
common
You know
thing.
how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when it does come, you're
Yeah.
going through like 7, 8 diapers in 45 minutes. But
Or no,
like
it's
those
like
little things.
you gotta, like, throw away their outfit after that one.
Oh yeah.
It's like such a blowout. It's like, you I don't even wanna put this in my washing machine.
Yeah.
Like, this one's gone, you know?
Yeah.
It's
But it's
like
happened with all three of my kids where they've had, I think Nate was like 12 days. Luke had like 8 or 9 days, and then Jack was another one that was about 10 days where they just have this little spurt where they just absorb everything and don't need to
yeah, I think that's like I
dispose
don't know if it's, like,
anything.
tied to, like, a growth spurt or, like, right around the time where you're sort of changing their diets a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, or a
Yeah,
combination
it's for
of both, you
us,
know?
it's always happened almost like right before we're gonna start changing their diet. So I think it's related to a growth, like a leap
Yeah,
or whatever.
right.
But it's there's just and there's a couple other things I can't think of right now that are like that it's like kind of a big deal, but no one prepares you for it. So now it's like every time I have a friend that's
Yeah,
becoming a new dad, I'm like, listen,
yeah,
this is gonna happen. It's normal. Don't freak out. But your kid's gonna shit like 7, 8 times a day, and then all of a sudden it's gonna go like 2 weeks with nothing. It's
yeah.
okay. Don't freak out.
Perfectly normal.
Yeah, it's just weird,
Perfectly
man.
normal human being
Yeah,
thing
like
to do.
that's it's almost a good thing because it happens to pretty much every kid. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's a
yeah.
few things like that that I'm just like, didn't warn me about that one. So,
I know. It's crazy,
you'll
man.
warn me about the crying and the waking up 700 times a night, but you won't warn me about the fact that my kid's all of a sudden not going to take a dump for 2 weeks. Like it's
Well,
kind
I
of a
wanna
big
know,
deal.
like I wanna be there when you have a conversation with your kid to explain your sweatshirt, dude. That thing's awesome.
Oh, you like it? It
Yeah.
finally came. I ordered this thing a few months ago, dude. This is my Doctor Disrespect.
Well, he's so popular, dude. I'm sure it's been
Violence,
back ordered, you
speed,
know?
momentum. Yeah, I know. I actually lagged on this because I've been a Doctor Disrespect fan for years, like well before this whole eruption. The past probably 2 years. Um, I don't know. I just never got around to ordering it, and then finally, about I think it was like right before or right after the ban, I was like, I think it's time to hop on this sweatshirt
Yeah.
bandwagon. They also haven't. I think a lot of issues is they usually don't have it in my size. My normal size is 2XL tall, which is something that's rare to come by. So a lot of times I have to get the 3XL for the length, but then it's super baggy. But now since I'm starting to lose that weight again, I'm fitting into the 2XL, which is nice because it's giving me more
Nice.
options.
Nice,
So yeah,
dude.
I got this.
Silver linings, you know?
Yeah. Which since you brought it up, I mean, I have a couple little gaming things that are unique. Nothing crazy. I think the big thing is
Yeah, let's hear
related
it.
to Doctor Disrespect. Actually, is this guy's just trucking along to the point where and this is like this
I've
is
watched a
the
few streams, you know, like, he's doing his thing for
yeah.
sure, you
And
know?
he like he had a stream the other day with PewDiePie. I'm sure you've heard that name.
Mhm.
PewDiePie is I think he's actually second biggest YouTuber. He was the biggest YouTuber for a long time. I think he got surpassed by
Doctor Disrespect.
no, not even close, dude. PewDiePie has over 100 million subscribers, but I think
Wow.
there's actually some kind of Bollywood dancing thing or something similar to that has surpassed him and took that official crown. But he's just a he's a content creator, video game guy that just blew up over the years. But he doesn't stream; he makes videos. But he jumped on a stream with Doctor Disrespect the other day, so that was kind of a big deal to see. Here is like who's known as like the king of YouTube,
Yeah.
is willing to take his time to jump in a Doctor Disrespect stream. I mean, they are it kind of benefits them both because they're two different sides of YouTube. You got the video content. Not that Doctor Disrespect also does videos, but
Oh,
his
yeah, he
videos
does
are
some
like
awesome videos.
yeah, but his videos are highlights from his streams. He is a
Yeah.
streamer, so his audience is the ones that tune in to the live play. PewDiePie doesn't really do that. I don't even think he ever has really. So it kind of benefits them both when they do things like that. But what's funny with Doctor Disrespect is I'm watching ESPN highlights last night, and it's the Game 7 highlights of Who is it?
Rocket
The
Thunder.
Yeah, Rocket
Rocket
Thunder.
Thunder.
And dude,
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. They don't mention it or anything. I'm literally just watching, and there's just this little flicker on the screen, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. I rewind it, and I'm not bullshitting you. Here in the fucking stands
Like the
is a
virtual fan,
virtual fucking
right?
doc. Yeah, the virtual stands is freaking Doctor Disrespect,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm like, wait a minute. So I do some search. They actually on live TV played Alleyways, which was one of the songs that Dr. Disrespect released right before his return.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
had him in the stands. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was planned. I think it was kind of obvious it was planned.
Sure it was, you know?
Yeah, but
Or
it's
it was
just
one of the things where they saw him and then decided to do that, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
or either way.
But what it
But
is it's another thing that shows how big this guy really is starting to become. We know he has some
yeah,
TV things coming up. Here we have him. His song is being played on live TV during a NBA playoff game, and he's being showed in the virtual stands.
well,
Like it's
when you're so big that you're so big for the platform that you have within gaming, but then when your platform starts to creep across other platforms
yeah,
like this,
yeah,
that's when you're just, like, on another level than the other people that think that they're in the same, you know,
yeah,
category as you, right?
yeah,
But the other thing about, like, the virtual stands thing that I wanna like, that I wonder about, it's like, you look at those virtual stands, like, we're talking maybe 50 to 100 people,
yeah,
okay? And I haven't watched a lot of games because my team hasn't been in there, but
yeah. It's
I've you
hard
know,
to.
I still enjoy sports that I'll tune in. And you see a ton of celebrities that pop in on there, like Lil Wayne and,
Yep.
like, all these other folks and, like or other players who are not there or other athletes in other sports and, this, that, and the other thing. And so, like, that shit's gotta be like it's gotta be like, "Oh, we know this person, let's get them in there so they can get on TV." It's like, how many other actual fans are waiting in the queue because they wanna get a piece of
Yeah,
this, and they gotta pay money to do this,
yeah,
And it's like and you're just constantly, like, giving the freebies to the celebs because you think it's gonna, like, draw more attention, and
yeah,
it's like you it's already sucks that the common fan can't be there to root for their team,
yeah,
and they're trying to fill out every little online forum so that they can at least try to be there as much as they can be there for their team, and
yeah,
it's just like, I don't necessarily know that we need to be, like, giving spots away to people like Lil Wayne or anybody else who, like, doesn't really care about this particular team, but just
yeah,
wants to be, like, a basketball fan and another reason for people to see his face out there.
yeah,
It's like, why? Because is he promoting a song or something that he's got going on right now? You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just like kinda had a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, I understand it. You always show the celebs who come to the game, but those celebs who come to the game, they paid 30 grand for a courtside ticket.
yeah,
We want them on courtside because we know that we ain't gonna sit courtside
yeah,
during that game, so it's fine that
yeah,
they're there, but, like, they're not taking away anything from any of us. But in this situation, I feel like they're taking away from the common
yeah.
fan.
And you know
Yeah.
for a fact they're not paying for those virtual
No,
sightings or
no.
whatever you want to
They
call them.
probably get an invite. "Hey, do you wanna come on? You wanna be you we'll
Yeah,
feature you on there if you,
yeah. So I can get on board with that. Yeah, especially right now, like this is really a time for the fans.
Yeah,
So I can agree with you on that. The Doctor Disrespect thing is just unique because it's something that like the gaming industry has, I don't want to say frowned upon, but it hasn't been looked at as a major entertainment industry. For it has over the past probably decade now. It's becoming that, but it's more and more becoming more of a mainstream thing, especially when you have these streamers like Dr. Disrespect and Shroud pulling 500,000 live viewers. Like those are
yeah.
not numbers that you can really ignore, you know?
No, man. No.
And this
Especially
guy,
with the amount of basically, like, when people realize, like, they have the ability to influence people, like, so that's why people want to partner with their platform in a way, whether it's advertising or marketing or
yeah,
whatever the case may be. That's why it happens because they want to reach that many people too, and they know that you already have. So we're gonna leverage your audience
yeah,
for our greater good.
yeah.
You know?
And then with it's been something that's been happening over the last few years. It's kind of taken a big boost with the COVID thing, but athletes have been getting pretty involved with gaming. We've had quite
Oh
a few
yeah.
athletes that are doing streams. I watched a stream a few months ago of Ezekiel Elliott gaming with his helmet on, and his headliner was gaming with the helmet on until I get a win. So he's literally sitting. And I remember watching it at first, and I'm like, is this even really this guy? And then like I watched for a few rounds of he was playing Call of Duty, and he took his helmet off to like adjust, and sure enough, it was 100% him just sitting there playing some Call of Duty. But they're
He
teaming
wasn't, like,
up.
taking a bite of, like, cereal, like, in between or anything like that,
No,
you know?
he's just sitting there rocking the helmet, dude. But it was funny. But they're teaming with a lot of the big time popular streamers. But it's cool because they're reaching out to the streamers. It's not the streamers going like the big thing. I think the big break was when Drake reached out to Ninja through Instagram or Twitter or something, right? That
Right.
was the big that was the first time where Ninja held the record for a long time. Where I think it hit like 300,000 viewers because Drake was playing with them, and it was Drake, and I think it was another hip hop artist or a basketball player that joined them. But this was something like Ninja was streaming. It was Fortnite. This was about a year plus ago. And he had 300,000 viewers because of it. And that's what really, I think, opened the door to this.
Yeah.
And is really what's making the streaming platforms really blow up with the viewership. I started streaming 5 years ago. I watched it. I've been watching and kind of involved with it for 8 years. When I started streaming, the biggest
Mhm.
streamer, it would be like a shock around the gaming world if they held 5,000 viewers for an hour. That would
Wow.
be blowing people's minds. And now here you have people like Dr. Disrespect who almost averages 100,000 viewers a stream. I think it's kind of been bouncing between 65 to 100,000 now that the whole you know debacle and the interest and excitement about the whole band thing's kind of simmered down. He's gotten down to what his real number is going to be, but that's still like he streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and he's pushing upwards of 100,000 viewers that are, and it's like I think the thing that people don't wrap their heads around is this isn't like a YouTube video that's collecting views over time. This is
No, it's
live
live, like
people watching this
yeah.
guy right now. Like
Yeah.
when his return stream and Shroud's return stream, they hit that 500,000 viewer. That's 500,000 people watching them live. That's
Well,
like
yeah, I mean,
that's like a major sport event in a lot of cases.
it's bigger because you think about it, it's like a major sporting event in a stadium is, baseball, you're around 40 to 50,000, football, you're around 60 to 80,000 depending on what stadiums you're in. Okay, and then you're doing it with a team, you're doing it with a production squad, you're
Yeah.
not alone, anything like that, right?
Yeah.
This guy, like most of these people, they might have some teams behind the
Yeah.
scenes or do some editing, obviously, but
But you're
you know,
still you're
it's
talking about
really
like
it's
a
really
team of
intense.
3, 4 people maybe.
But the thing is like the camera's on you for however many hours it is, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes that these
Yeah.
guys are streaming throughout the day. And you have that many people on you at all times, 500,000 people. You are a performer. Like
Yeah.
you are no different than somebody performing a daily show in Las Vegas that
Mhm.
has to do it for an audience. Like this is a much bigger audience and
Yeah.
you're reaching that many people and you basically don't necessarily have a playbook or anything that you've prepared. It's all just like we're doing a radio show essentially. It's like that's what they're doing. They're
Yeah.
playing games and just, shooting the shit,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it's like people don't realize like the reach that they have. And it's like it sounds fun that they just get to play video games every day, but at the same time it's like if you think about it from the performer aspect or the athlete aspect, it's like that's a lot of work to be doing that for that long and to have to entertain that many people, and always be on your game,
Yeah.
for that long.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, man.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's I just love seeing it because I feel like I'm a unique person where I very much love sports, but I also love games, and we grew up in the towards the end of the era where you're a jock or a nerd, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you're playing football, you're not playing video games. Or if you're playing video games, you're not playing baseball. You don't know how to hold a
Or it's
bat.
like if you're
You
playing
know?
football, you're only playing Madden. You're
Yeah.
not playing
Yeah.
like World of Warcraft at the same time, you
Yeah.
know?
So for someone like me who's sitting back, and just trying to catch up on what's going on in the sports world that day, and then to come across, a gamer that I enjoy watching in an ESPN highlight, it's just a fun feeling because it's like we're in a time where it's we're in a time in this world where things are really bad, but one thing that has changed, in my opinion, for the positive is we've really gotten away from the whole jock nerd thing. And I think a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
people can really just kind of be who they want to be. And we still have a lot of problems with it. Don't get me wrong.
Right, right.
But I feel like with the Black Lives Matter, transgenders, gays, and them being so much more around, and
Yeah,
laws
way
being
more
more
accepted
accepting
than
to
they were.
them and things like that, it's made it easier to kind of be who you want to be and not have to like because I mean growing up I've been a huge gamer my entire life, but a lot of people like in high school and stuff, they didn't know that because I was thinking like I'd be made fun of if people knew that I played. On the weekends, I went over to my computer nerd buddy's house and played Warcraft 2,
Yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, and there's a sense where, people are always gonna stereotype people, but
yeah,
I think I get what you're saying to where it's like, I think they're doing it a lot less in many ways to where it's like they used to always try to like it was very rigid where you'd categorize certain people, like, just based on how they
yeah.
look or how they talk or what they're doing, but it's not
I think it
necessarily the
has
case
a lot
much
with
anymore.
like you in the olden days, you kind of were this was your thing. Oh, you're a football player. That's your thing, there weren't people that were like, "Oh, you like to do multiple things." Like I think
Right.
it's more accepted to have like multiple hobbies or be interested in multiple things that might not necessarily relate to one another.
It's also because we have much easier access to
Yeah.
so many things, and so we can do so many things with our time. And I also think that, like, while you're starting to see, you know, clips of Dr. Disrespect or mentions of people like this on other platforms like ESPN and whatnot, I mean, to me, a few things come to mind. Okay, number 1, gaming is being referred to a lot as esports, and I think that you're very much gonna see this eventually become an everyday update
Yeah.
or a weekly update at least on platforms like ESPN because it is growing so much and it's also bringing in so much money,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and people
ESPN's
will follow
already
the money when it
yeah.
comes to reporting, number 1.
ESPN has actually over the past few months, and maybe longer, and I just haven't caught it, but their social media sites, they actually been dropping gaming highlights here and there.
Yeah. Oh, for
And I think
sure.
they're kind of been testing the waters with what the reaction is with that type of stuff. And of course, a lot of the comments are like, people that are anti gamers. Oh, what is this shit doing here? But a lot of them are also like, oh, this is crazy. This is on ESPN. So
Yeah, but
um,
I mean, the other thing
but it's a
about you
smart move. It's a smart move because the competitive side with the esports side of gaming, it is really competitive. Like I
oh,
don't
no,
know if
it's
you've watched
insane.
any tournaments. They're too much for me, man. These guys they're getting wins and they're standing up and they're ripping the team across from them. I mean, fist fights break out
Oh,
sometimes and stuff. Like it's really competitive, and that's a sporting that comes along with sports, that competitive nature. So it's definitely an opportunity that ESPN should branch out and cover it. There's ways they can do it where it doesn't disrupt their full old school sports fans too.
oh, yeah.
So
Well, I mean, there's 2 more points I wanna make on this, and it's like, number 1, it's like, if fucking poker can still get on TV,
yeah,
like, come on, dude. Like, really? We're playing poker, we're shooting pool, and we're bowling on TV. Let's be real. Like, let's
yeah,
get some more gaming in these spots if we're really hurting for ratings, okay?
yeah,
Um, I mean, I'm sorry, but, like, as cool as you can do a trick shot in pool, it just belongs in a bar, and let's keep it there, okay? Or your living room or your garage or whatever the fuck. Like, it's fine if you're really good at it. Go shark some people at the fucking bar and, like, I'm all fine with it. Like, I don't need to watch it on ESPN. I'd rather watch curling, reruns of curling in the Olympics, than watch pool on ESPN. I swear to God, or darts or whatever or fucking
Yeah,
poker. I hate
dude,
poker.
the
You know,
poker thing, and I used to
I'll
like
play
World Series of
poker. I have
Poker.
no
You
problem, no
remember?
problems with poker. I just don't want to fucking watch people play poker.
Yeah, I
You
just
know,
like the World Series of Poker thing. That was it had its little stint back in like the
I had
late
20
or
minutes
early
of
two
fame, and it's
thousands.
like we're gone, dude.
Yeah,
We're gone.
I always remember the highlight was like the dude, what was his name, Chris Moneymaker, won the
Yeah,
World Series of Poker, and but it was like, I'm pretty sure if I remember, like this was a dude that was like an online poker player.
yeah.
So, and it was, but like
Yeah.
all the rant and the rave, and just the fact that his last name was legit Moneymaker, and here he is winning the World Series of Poker, wins like $1 million, and it's like all
Oh,
over,
yeah.
it's like blowing up all over ESPN and stuff, and it's like, this is an overweight, like middle-aged dude
That
just
doesn't
playing
smile,
cards, and he's on, he's
you
the
know?
number one highlight or on ESPN,
I mean,
So,
it's like, "Oh, he's really good at holding a poker face." Like,
yeah,
great, you know?
yeah,
But the
yeah,
last point I wanna make on this gaming thing is I think the other thing that people need to realize is that gaming now has been around long enough to where you're starting to see the generational shift. Okay, now
yeah,
we are 35 years old. We are in our mid 30s, and when we were kids, gaming was already out. Like Atari came before us, like other things. Like we had the Nintendo, and we grew up with Nintendo, and we had a constant evolution of
yeah,
gaming throughout our childhood that always kept it relevant.
yeah,
Okay, now these kids from these 90s, late 80s kids, 90s kids are now adults with their own kids. And we are the majority target audience for so many things, be it the news, sports, anything pop culture that's relative today.
hmm,
We are the number one target audience because we're the ones that work the most and earn the most money and are going to spend the most money, right?
yeah,
So where I'm going with that is like it's no shock that you're gonna sprinkle in more of what people are accustomed to, right?
yeah,
And so you got more people who are gaming just because of their generation now,
hmm,
who even if they're not gaming anymore, they know what it is and can appreciate it and can relate to it on some level because they've played at some point. Maybe they didn't play yesterday or 2 hours ago, but they've played and they understand how the internet works and YouTube and Twitch and streaming and all that good stuff. And so people can buy into it. And even if you don't play, you can be entertained by it,
yeah,
And so like that's why you're seeing the crossover between all the different athletes who play all the major sports.
yeah,
It's like because they grew up in the generation gaming. So of course they're still gaming in their free time
yeah,
and they're famous. So they're going to be broadcasted gaming because other people are going to make more money off of them that way too. And because they cross over with major sports, ESPN is going to mention them because Juju Smith-Schuster is the same guy we mentioned for scoring 3 touchdowns on Sunday night. Oh, by the way, he's streaming on Wednesday.
yeah,
He's playing
yeah.
this game, and people will do that. And like LeBron James's son, Bronny James, just signed with FaZe Clan.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
partnership.
kind of a
You know,
joke to me, but that's a story for another day.
but I
But
mean,
yeah,
it's
I
just
get what you're saying.
another
Dude,
big name like potential
Logic
athlete. You know,
Logic just legit retired from his hip hop career to become a full-time streamer on Twitch.
wow.
Like, it's like that's a big deal. Like everything you mentioned in Logic, like that's a big deal. There's a couple famous guys out there. There's some other rock star guy that it's more of like a heavy metal band that I'm not really into. But he streams all the time. He's got a huge following. It's like these guys. What's the DJ's name? He pops up every once in a while. There's a popular old school DJ. The Mouse guy,
Oh,
Dead
yeah,
Mouse, or
Dead
I don't know.
Mouse.
Is it Mouse or Ma Five? Dead Ma Five or I don't know. Whatever that guy's name
Dead
is.
Mouse, dude.
He
Yeah, he went
yeah,
freaking ears,
dude,
dude.
he pops up on his Twitch and starts making beats and stuff, and
Yeah, I
um
mean, I can totally see like a good platform for DJs like that, like especially the famous ones. Because
yeah,
like think about it, if I'm throwing a house party and this DJ's like streaming on Twitch, like I'll just throw that up and
yeah,
like the rest of the
yeah,
party.
and it's another avenue for them to make money.
Yeah.
So um
No,
yeah,
I mean, it's so easy too. But I just think it's interesting the whole Bronny James thing about signing with FaZe Clan. It's like there's no I don't know if it's because he's 15 or LeBron
I
James
mean,
is already too rich that there's no monetary value there. It was literally just to boost his social media
yeah,
platforms
I
because
mean,
he grew, like,
apparently,
dramatically in, like, days.
yeah. I mean, apparently, the kid's decent at Fortnite and some other games, but I don't think he's good enough to be joining that type. Like FaZe Clan is known for
Yeah, I
heavy esports play and heavy content. So there's a few of these esports groups or whatever you want to call them that they have like two sides of it. 100 Thieves is a very popular one. FaZe Clan. There's a few other, but they kind of have they're kind of split, right? They have they're massive um they're massive groups that have their different teams within them, right? They have teams that strictly focus on certain games.
right.
100 Thieves is one that I like a lot because they have some funny content creators, but they have their teams that go and do the esports, and they're like dedicate. They have a dedicated team that's for
Yeah, do, like, the
Call of
tournaments,
Duty,
stuff
or
like
Call of
that.
Duty is a bad example because 100 Thieves opted out of that this year. But for example, they have their teams, but then they also have their content creation side where Nade Shot and Courage are two of the and then they have their content creator house, which is Nade Shot, who's the CEO of 100 Thieves. It's him, Courage JD, Valkyrie, and Brooke. They're like the four top ones that they live in the same house, and they just make funny, stupid, silly videos,
Like
and they do
pranks and shit,
gameplay.
yeah.
Yeah, like they do gameplay stuff. Like they just had one that was kind of funny the other day where they reenacted posters, right? So there's another guy, I can't think of his name. I think his name's Frosty. He's a esports. He's on the esports side, but he comes in and does the content stuff. So Frosty and Nade Shot made a recreation poster of the Notebook, where Nade Shot's here. They're soaking. They jump in the pool. They come out. Nade Shot's holding Frosty, and they're like, look. It's just really uncomfortable, but it's really funny. So
Yeah,
they have a competition where they recreated these famous movie posters, and then the esports team members come in and they are scoring them and everything, and they make funny stuff. It's entertaining content. But I this was a power move,
oh, yeah,
100%. Like the
for
kid's
sure.
not good enough
You're
to
not
be on an
signing any
esports
other
team.
15-year-old who's
No, yeah, you're
mediocre at
signing him
video games.
because he's LeBron
Yeah,
James's son, and
yeah.
it's not a dumb move. I think it's kind of fucked up for Bronny in a way, but he might, if he doesn't think that, then that's what matters. But
I just don't
this is
think
a very big
he's
power
a kid who
play.
knows that he doesn't need the money, so he's not even, like, tripping on it. I think he's just trying to I think just like LeBron James has always done, I mean, I've watched enough things about LeBron. I think LeBron has probably been in his son's ear that he needs to start building his own brand.
Yeah,
And I think that's the way that he's doing it because he's gained like this took him to like over 5.5 million followers.
yeah.
He got like
Well,
77,000
FaZe
followers
Clan
on Instagram
is,
in like one day because of this,
yeah. I
like
mean, FaZe Clan is one of the biggest, if not arguably the biggest, um,
right.
esports gaming um establishment out there. I mean, they have the likes of, Nick Merckx right now is one of, if not the top biggest streamer on Twitch right now. He's leading the pack of all the Warfare guys, Modern
Right.
Warfare guys. He's part of FaZe Clan. Swag is another one very popular. He's part of FaZe Clan. Like all these guys, like they have a huge team of very, very skilled players and very good content creators. So it's definitely, I see the pros and cons for both. But if you removed who his father was,
Right,
he would
exactly.
not be being signed right now. He's not that good. So
Yeah,
there
he
is
wouldn't
that.
have even been on their radar, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And I mean no disrespect to
I
him.
think it's a good
I think
marketing
it's
ploy for
great.
all of them, right? Because it's like, think about it, it's like how many people are probably more like me who, like, heard this news because he's LeBron James' son, but, like, hadn't really known much about FaZe Clan before that, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
so and, like, even though they are as big as they are in their community, but there's a lot more people who haven't connected those 2 things from the actual
Yeah.
sports and esports, so that's another bridge to connect that.
Yep.
And in a way, it's like, it's like they don't really care that he's not that good. They know what they're gonna get from this,
Yeah,
you
and I
know?
think it does work both ways. Like I don't I mean no disrespect to Bronny. I mean from what I've researched and stuff, he's a decent player. I mean, I'm sure I'll smoke him in Call of Duty, but that's
Well, like, here's my point, dude. Like, if Twitch like today announced that, hey, we signed Will Ferrell to stream and play video games with us, and Will Ferrell's like, I've never played video games in my life,
yeah.
but like people would tune in to watch how bad he was because
Yeah,
he's Will Ferrell, and because he
exactly.
would probably be funny as shit, like while he's talking into a microphone, you
Yeah.
know?
And this kid is
So
apparently he's going to be an NBA player at some point.
yeah,
So,
yeah, destined for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's
Good
just
lord.
it just like you said, it's another thing that's showing the growth of gaming, the what value it can bring to sports and vice versa. So they
Yeah.
really are kind of feeding off each other right now, and it's cool to see.
Well, and
I
especially at a time where it's like you can only really live on the internet right now. So
Yeah, and that's why like right now like
it's booming, you
I'm
know?
telling you, man, if there was a company that I would have invested in before this, Twitch would probably be one of them because I mean their numbers right now are disgusting. I can't wait till next year when they
Yeah.
release their official growth numbers. I swear their growth would probably has to be 500+%. Like it's insane. The numbers we
Oh,
see right now, like I mean here, I'll just pull it up for a second since we're talking on it. We just look at the numbers. So live channels, top channel is Dr. Lupo, another pretty popular guy. 34,000 viewers are watching him right now. Summit 1G, 25,000 viewers. Swag, who I mentioned, Face Clan playing Modern Warfare right now, 15,000 viewers. Like this is just and this is like this is at a time right now where we live, it's 10 o'clock at night.
yeah,
A few years ago, the highest streamer right now would have like maybe 3,000 viewers,
right.
and Dr. Lupo's pulling 34,000 viewers playing a game called Among Us, which is a little freaking hokey 2D game. This
Well, I
isn't
mean,
even
yeah.
like Modern Warfare or Fortnite or a popular game.
Well, to put things in perspective, you got more people sitting on their couch at home because you got how many restaurants and bars that you hear about every day that are closing
Yep.
permanently because, the way things are going in our society, it's like it's hard for businesses to survive because everyone's at home. And then meanwhile, what they're doing and turning to at home, places like this with platforms on the internet, they're reaping all the benefits from it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard because it's like you can't get food through Twitch or anything like this. It's like you still need those restaurants, those
Yeah.
local establishments to really have everything your community needs, and it's just right now it's like it's sad, man.
Yeah.
It's very
Um,
unbalanced. Our society is very unbalanced with the way COVID-19 is really hitting us, you know?
yeah, it really is. And to be honest, actually now I'm seeing this and I mentioned Summit 1G who's really like an OG of Twitch. With all
Should
this
change his name to Summit OG.
he really should at this point. He with all this growth, there is a lot of negatives to it as well, and he's the one that's getting hit with it really hard right now, which unfortunately with what comes with streaming is each channel has a chat where the people watching can communicate, and that of course, we're talking about the internet, people hiding behind a username, tend to really abuse their freedom of speech to the point
Oh,
where he's actually one that lately has been his chat for whatever reason. It's kind of interesting to me because he's quite possibly one of the most chill dudes on Twitch. The thing that makes Summit 1G really really unique is most streamers they've built their community playing a certain game, right?
yeah,
And you see it happens
yeah.
all the time when that player finally gets to that breaking point with that game and they switch to something, they get a lot of backlash. A lot of the communities like, go back to that game. Why are you playing this new
Yeah.
trash game? Because
I'm
that's
only watching you because you used to play the other game,
yeah, you get that. And Tim the Tatman had a little clip that came out a few months ago. I'll have to find it and send it to you because it's actually really he says it perfectly, but he's kind of ranting. He's like, the only reason you are who you are is because of Call of Duty Black Ops, and then oh, the only reason you are who you are is because of Fortnite, and now it's oh, the only reason you are because who you are is because of Overwatch, and it's
Yeah.
every game he transitions to a large, and it's not a few people, like thousands of people or tens of thousands of people start saying these things like, why are you playing this trash game? You're only who you are because of and then then it just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What makes Summit so unique is Summit for a long time now. He had that thing where he started out, I believe, as a big CS:GO player. But over the past, like, honestly, I think about 5 years, if I'm right here. Besides the
Doesn't
stint where he played a lot of PUBG, he's really kind of always played what he wants to play, and that's what's
Yeah.
kind of made him the oddball, because for the most part, his community is there for him, not really for the game that he plays. And he's a chill dude, but over the last few weeks, especially, his chat's become really toxic, to the point where the last couple days he's gotten frustrated and actually stopped his stream. And he made a comment, I think it was yesterday or the day before, on his stream, where someone made a workaround in a donation and tripped up the system that donates through, and was able to get the N-word passed. And he has it set up to where you donate a certain amount, it reads out the message, right?
Yeah.
A computer voice reads out the message. So it read out the message with the N-word in it, and it just triggered him to the point where he ended the stream. And as he was ending, he said, I'm getting so tired of this that I might just he's one of those guys that signed a contract with Twitch. So he said something along the lines of, I'm getting so tired of this, I might just run my contract out and be done. Which people took that as him saying, like, he might finish his contract with Twitch and stop streaming. This guy's been streaming. He's set for life,
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's just like, it's kind of gross to hear that from a guy, especially a guy that's really, I mean, he has his rage moments and stuff, which everyone does in video games, but he's not one that really talks crap about other people. He's not really negative. He's a really kind of chill, whatever, positive dude. So it's like, it's one thing to hear the stuff like Asmongold is one that comes to my mind. He's a World of Warcraft guy who's just super toxic. His chat's toxic, but that's kind of their thing, right?
Yeah,
It's
people
kind of
understand.
weird seeing that from someone on like this, but as a whole, Twitch chat is really pretty toxic,
Well,
you have your moderators that can,
but you
kind
said
of
it,
control
and
it.
it's like we both have experienced it, like, while we're playing games, like, even the in-game chat, it's
Yeah.
like, it's nothing nice or fun, or it's like,
Yeah.
everybody thinks
People's
that
true
they're
colors come out in voice chat,
well, the thing is, it's like
or in,
it's almost like every person on there thinks that they are like, God's gift to the world,
yeah.
and that, like, I can't believe I just died, or like, you know what I mean? Or like, "Oh, you asshole." It's like, "Dude, like, who are you?" Like, just take your licks and keep on moving, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, like, pretend like, "I should never die, I'm the best at this game." If you were the best at the game, people would be watching you,
Yeah.
you know? It's
Yeah.
like
People just are, when your face or name or real name are not tied to you or easily accessible, your true colors really come
oh,
out.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but Twitch chat, it's been known for a long time to be extremely toxic. Streamers have moderators in their chat. They're people that they designate to watch over the chat. Remove certain comments, can have some control, but it's hard, especially in these big guys like Summit. They have tens of thousands of people watching them. You have 30 monitors. It's hard to catch everything. So,
yeah,
um, but
yeah.
it's just kind of disappointing to hear like someone like him get frustrated to the point where he's really thinking about just calling it quits. It's just kind of crazy to hear. So, I
Yeah, it's
hope
a bummer.
he, maybe takes a little bit of a break and reevaluates it, because his core community is actually really, really fun and pretty entertaining. And they're, when he makes mistakes, they haze him, but it's in all fun and games. Where lately his chat just has been filled with some people that are just, miserable nobodies, that are just, for whatever reason, putting their loser opinions in his chat. So, but yeah, so, and he's not the only one dealing with that. A lot of people are, and I think it just has to do with the quick growth right now because of COVID,
Yeah,
and
it's
like you said,
climate right now for sure.
um, we're in a very negative time in our country's history. Um,
But
so,
the
but
internet's been like that in general, like, people pop off on Twitter, they pop off everywhere they can,
yeah,
you know, and especially in the gaming industry, the gaming world, it always even seems like a darker place because it's even more subterranean than everything else that's always
yeah.
out
Well, and
there. You know,
I
and
think a
then
lot of it has to do with player versus player, what's called PvP for short play, where you're competitive in an aspect where it's not physical.
right.
So, uh, I don't know, 7 foot, 2% body fat basketball player could get rocked by a 350-pound loser, like
Yeah,
they're,
but nobody knows that really.
yeah, but
They should,
what
you know,
my point is,
it
the,
levels the playing field is in a sense,
yeah,
you know,
it really
from an
does. And I
athleticism
think that in a
perspective.
lot of ways, can really bring out the worst in some people. So,
Yeah, but at the sense it's like, but you gotta remember, it's like, I get it that probably a lot of gamers who have never actually played athletics,
yeah,
but then again, there's probably tons that have.
yeah,
When you play sports on a sports field, it's like whether you win or lose, you shake hands at the end of the game, and you're a good sport, and it is what it is. But it's like I feel like it's like because people like feel like, oh, because you don't know who I am, and because you can't see me, and because this will never come back to me,
yeah,
that like I have the ability to just do whatever the hell I want and get away with it,
yep,
rather than just be a good sport about like, oh, I lost, I'll play again. It's not a
yeah,
big deal because I'm just playing a game.
yeah,
But it's just like it has this weird like sixth sense that like you don't have to tell somebody to act that way,
hmm,
that they will just do it. You know? It's it's
yeah.
just it's
It's
disgusting, really.
Yeah, and a lot of the ever since the George Floyd murder, a lot of the gaming companies have put out their announcements and things. Call of Duty is known as one of the most toxic games in the history of gaming. That for a long time they had this big Black Lives Matters
Well,
thing. They
that's
put out
also because
this.
they have the most people probably playing it, you know? I
Yeah,
mean, just
kind
look
of.
at the
I
numbers.
think it has a lot to do with that. I think it also has to do with a large um demographic that plays Call of Duty is a little older.
Yeah,
Um because it is more of an adult kind of game, it's
right,
they go for realism, it's a war game. So
right.
it's not like, Fortnite kind of angled more anyone can play it, but it's really more designed cartoonish for kids. So they
Yeah,
have a
or
larger,
like
younger.
preteen,
Yeah,
early teenage
which
kids.
which is not to say, young kids can be just as bad.
Oh,
The hardest
yeah,
thing about hearing some of the words that come from the young kids is they're saying these words that they don't know what they're saying, which to me makes it even worse. But
right.
um, but they're all this stuff came. We're not going to tolerate racism in our games and stuff. But what have they changed? I don't see any major changes. I've said for a
Well,
long
yeah,
time.
it's also how are they gonna not tolerate it,
Yeah, I mean,
you
I've
know?
always said, I've said for the longest time, these games need to implement literally a 5 second backwards record. Someone drops the N bomb in chat, boom, hit your record button, submit. Have
Yeah,
someone at the have a team dedicated to reviewing these. Oh, this guy dropped the N word for no reason, or it doesn't even have to be a reason. You drop the N word, boom, ban.
yeah, yeah.
I know that takes a lot of work and effort, but if you're gonna say these things that you're pro Black Lives Matter, you really want to put a stop to racism, but then you don't implement anything, it doesn't really look good. And for me,
But
a
I
lot
mean,
of these games, I haven't seen any major changes outside of like, yeah, okay, they've done a little bit better job of banning, you know, shitty usernames. Wow,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a massive,
Yeah.
massive move, right? No, it's not.
But I hear that, but check out this scenario, and I know this has happened to you. Um, what happens when and like this happened to me, and I had no problem with this. No problem with this. It's like I end up finding myself playing just like a multiplayer round of Call of Duty, and um, don't ask me how, but I'm pretty sure that the majority of the gentlemen on my team were black.
Yeah.
And just by their and they were you can tell that they were friends, they were talking to each other throughout the game, and they're complaining about things in the game or whatever the case may be. And they're throwing that word around like the entire game.
Yeah,
And
but I think it's
and it's
the
like
ending of that word that and
right, right, I
I
get it,
think
I
it's
get
the
it,
ending of the
I get it.
word and the context. Like
Yeah, I get it.
people in Call of
They're
Duty,
definitely doing
they will strongly say you stupid effing N-word.
and
That's
that
different
that
than
is a completely
bro.
different thing, you
Yeah,
know?
and I
That's
think
a
that's very
really
different than
different
someone
thing.
saying, "Oh, bro," but bro being the
Right, right,
other version of
yeah.
the N word. I think that
And
takes a
well,
little
my
bit of
point is,
common
like,
sense, but
when
I
I
get what you
hear
say. There's going to be that
yeah,
gray area, but you know what? Maybe that gray area falls into the band side, and that's what helps start a culture change. And you know what? Because I've always been one, and I mean, I know I
yeah,
don't have the authority to say this, but I feel like if you're offended by one version of the word, you should really be offended by all versions of the word. I think it's amazing that African Americans have taken that word and turned it into a positive. But if you, it's it that's the age old argument of equality, right? Well, if you can say that word, then everyone should be able to say that word. But it's not like that. But then you're
yeah,
asking for
no,
this,
it'll never be
so
like
that's where
that.
it's like it's got to be an all or nothing thing, or it's got to be established that in and that's the thing, you can't really establish like, oh, it's okay if you say it this way, but not
No.
okay if you say it that way. Like and that's where I think like these gaming companies have the
The same
opportunity.
way of, like, me saying, like, "Oh, man, that's gay." Like, it's like
Yeah,
that'll never be okay, the same way it'll be never be okay for me to say the more commonly used N-word
yeah,
by black people as opposed to the very racist one with the hard R on the end,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, and
It's
that's the
like
big thing is like we me and you grew up saying, oh, that's gay all the time. Never
right,
once did I relate it into to homosexuality.
right,
To us growing up, that was more used as like a slang for stupid
or lame or
or
something.
lame. And that's
Yeah.
what I always related it to. I never once said, "Oh, stop being gay," and meant it in a homosexual way. Like,
Yeah, whereas, like, I mean, I don't speak for black people, but I could imagine that, like, the context in which we hear it, it's more like a bro or homie or,
yeah,
like, something like that. I mean, they're not literally insulting their friends, you
yeah,
know? It's like if they use the other word, it would be way different, and that's where I feel like I've accepted them using that word, and it doesn't bother me,
yeah,
and it shouldn't bother most people because like, they have the right to basically adopt it as their own in any
yeah,
way, shape, or form and use it amongst themselves as long as they're okay with it. It's the minute that I were to say it or anyone says the other version where it's like, now you've crossed that line,
yeah.
you know? And I think that society gets that, but
Well, even I mean, but it's not only that. If a white person says it in the friendly version of it, that's frowned upon by the black community as well, which
yeah,
is
no, of
understandable.
course
I
it
get
should be,
that,
it should be.
but
It's like
that's the
it's like
thing
kinda
is
like,
it's
"No,
like
we can say that, you can't,
yeah,
because your race has been saying it this way for so
yeah,
long,
and
and
I'm
we
fine
won't
with that.
tolerate you saying it any other way because it's like we just assume that you're saying it with a negative
Yeah,
context." You
and
know?
I get that, and I'm okay with that because I think it's great. I really do think it's great that they kind of took ownership of it because they really changed it and they really devalued it a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not enough to the point where it's obsolete, but it has heavily like I still think it has heavily changed the weight that it used to carry by them using it as a friendly gesture. Um, but it's still extremely racist when used the other way. But I think getting back to my point is I think that's where these gaming companies just set the standard and be like, you know what? We don't care how it's used or whatnot. It's a term that we're not accepting. And if it's spelt out at the start, it's just something that can start changing the culture, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
Um,
it would be
that
nice.
that is a tricky one. I think of it, I think, you can, it's hard because people will work around it. Like if they decide, you know what, if you say it with the hard R, it's a ban. If you say it with the A, it's not. You're still gonna get those douchebag white people that are like, oh,
Yeah,
you're an effing
it's
N
gonna be
word with an
really tough to
A
police
to
that
work
one.
to work around it. but it's still
Yeah.
coming off as what their intent is, even though
But,
they're
I
not
mean, there's
saying it with
so
the
many
hard
other
R.
things that someone can say, but like you said, like, how do you like, even when you report this person,
Mhm.
like, how do you prove that they said that?
Well, that's the thing is like
If it's
when
just
in
something that
most
they
games
verbally said, you
in
know?
most games that when voice chat's open, whoever's speaking, their name lights up in the bottom corner of your screen. That's why I'm
Right.
saying these games implement a 5-second rewind record where someone says it, the player has to be quick enough to hit that button. They send it in, and the game company can review it, and they can see who said it and hear what was said.
Yeah, in what context, you know?
Then that's
Yeah,
enough.
send an
But
email, man. You
yeah,
should send an email
that's
against that.
well, the argument is the comeback is going to be, well, that gives that
Still, how do
company
you
a lot
prove
of
it?
power over freedom of speech and all that bullshit, which is not bullshit. It is a value. It is a real concern. But I still think that there's an opportunity there to what it can at least do is, what, okay, we have this one, it's iffy, we're gonna let it go. But I still think there's enough power there to where the ones that are just straight up unnecessary comments, they should have the right to be like, you know what, no,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I can get
Yeah,
banned
there's
for
some blatantly obvious ones
if
that
I
are
can
just
get banned for absolutely nothing and not given a
yeah.
reason, why can't people that are saying racial comments be banned with a
If
reason?
you can get banned for just pure violence, speed, and momentum,
Yeah.
like, I don't understand.
I mean,
I don't understand
if I
it.
can get banned after having one of the worst nights of my Call of Duty career, why
Yeah,
can't
somebody else
people
get
that are
banned for
racist as
speed
fuck
and momentum.
get banned?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I don't know. There's just I think my point is there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm not
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
anything after now that we're in kind of the quieting down after the George Floyd murder, and I'm not seeing any follow through with the gaming companies that originally stated we're gonna do this. We support this movement.
Or you
I've
get a
not
lot of
really
the
seen any
statements
action
of, "We're
outside of a
gonna"
big fucking banner on the home screen of these
well,
games.
yeah, or the other thing is you get a lot of the statements of, "Oh, we're gonna do a thorough evaluation of our core values and analyze this and that, and then, we're gonna put together a plan." And then 6 months go by, and then the climate of the society sort of, like, mellows out, and then they don't actually have to do anything.
Yeah, that paperwork gets shuffled to the back. That idea gets shuffled down the line, and then eventually it's in the pile of things to get to that never get got to.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Is that like your 3rd sip of your beer through that this whole episode?
I'm almost done. Let me see where you're at. Don't you call me out, man? I'm drinking this fucker.
It's almost done.
Does it sound like there's rocks in there, dude?
It's like one more sip, bro.
What are you drinking, man? Literally sounds like a can full of rocks.
Well, it's a stout, it's pretty thick. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, it might hit the aluminum against the side much differently than your fruity little can over there.
You know what,
Yeah.
bro? You
You
you have you have some stupid ass encounter you want to talk about. Let's
I
hear
do.
it.
I do. I had an awkward encounter this week. This is becoming one of my favorite segments, and I'm trying to decipher, like, do I just have a lot of awkward encounters with a lot of awkward people, or am I a pretty awkward guy? And, like, it's probably somewhere in the middle,
I think it's somewhere in the middle. I
But,
know I probably have a lot of awkward encounters. I'm just so used to them that I just don't
yeah,
remember them as vividly. So,
yeah, yeah. So,
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have awkward encounter with my wife every day, but
so there's this sandwich spot that I like so much when I go to work. Whenever I go to work, I try not to hit it every day, but, like, if I went to work 5 days, I'm probably gonna hit it 3 days out of the 5. That's just
yeah.
the way it goes. It's a really good sandwich spot. And before COVID-19, everything was cool. I feel like the way these businesses have changed, it's, like, created more opportunities for awkward encounters, like, when you're
Yeah.
trying to, like, pick up your food or, like, just do whatever because it's like no one's trying to do the thing that the other person, like, is really gonna not want you to do because it's gonna be risky in the sense of the virus or whatever the case may be, right?
Hmm.
So, this particular this happens, like this happens a lot with the same dude there, and, like, the last time I was there, I just really noticed it, like, so vividly. And I was like, "I have to talk about this, like, on the podcast," right? And, like, so the way this sandwich shop I usually call it in, I wanna save some time, I don't wanna be there forever or whatever. So I go and I pick up my stuff, and they usually have this, like, other table now to the side where, like, they'll put your food on, and then you go over and take it, and
Mhm.
then, so that way you don't have to, like, be that close to people or touch them or whatnot. And the dude, every time he puts the sandwich on, like, the place for me to go pick up, he takes, like, 2 steps back and, like, crosses his arms and stuff and, like, just sits there, like, looking at me like 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 "Go ahead, you could pick it up now." And I'm just like, "Really, dude? Like, you could just go back to what you're doing and I'll bounce. I've already paid for this. Like, we don't have to, like, talk about it." And then he'll, like, sit there and like, "You have a lovely day. You have a good day." And I'm just like, "Yeah, you too, man." And it's just like, I get it. You're really friendly, but, like, just, like, the way that you presented yourself in this moment, it's like, we didn't really need to do that. Like, you could just be a normal sandwich guy and just be like, "Alright, man, have a good day. Peace." So it got to the point where now whenever he does that, I know what he's gonna say and I know what he's gonna do. So I grab the sandwich and before he can say like have a good weekend, I'm like, all right, man, have a good weekend. Take care. Thanks a lot for the sandwich. You guys are doing a great job. Stay safe out there. And then I just walk out and then he's almost like this, like, oh, okay,
Dude, that's bad,
It's
man.
like rather than stand there and be like, "Okay, we cool? Can I leave now?" It's like I try to do all the talking like on my way out. Like I'm like, "Okay, this has been awkward enough. Like here's how we not make this awkward every day." You know?
That's funny, man.
Oh,
So
that one
okay, so
yeah.
I was trying to think because we chatted just briefly about this before about talking about awkward moments, and I haven't had any lately. But you were right. You said maybe when you told yours, you'd spark one of mine, and
Oh,
you
for
did.
sure.
Um, but this isn't really an awkward moment I had. It's more so an awkward moment I created, and I did it intentionally, and I'm not ashamed of it whatsoever. So I got to give it a little backstory. We bought a house. It turned out we were lied to. We were going through this massive lawsuit and reconstruction and everything, right? We
Yeah.
don't have a kitchen. We haven't had a kitchen for almost a year. We're not gonna have a kitchen for another 6 to 8
I think
months.
our listeners know that
So
by now.
yeah, I know.
You know?
I know.
You guys
I'm
probably,
broken
I think
record.
they know that you haven't had a kitchen at least for 12 weeks.
Yeah. So shut your mouth. Um, so we have the makeshift kitchen where I can slap some things together in a grill,
That's
but
the one with the butler's pantry in it?
yeah, that's where my oven is right now. My
Right.
little ninja
Yeah.
convection oven is
I'm
in
just I'm just picturing
the
your house,
the
with
butler's
the butler
pantry.
in there with the napkin over his arm
Yeah.
like this, like,
Yes, yes. And
yeah.
when you turn the convection oven on because it's not plugged into the right size outlet, the lights flicker and shit. So, I'm living the hood life in my mini mansion here right now. But so the problem on top of all this is Jack, our youngest, our newborn, who's coming on 7 months now. He has a dairy sensitivity to the point where my wife can really only we've kind of figured it out that she can have like one slice of sharp cheddar cheese a day. So like for
Wow.
lunch, I make sandwiches and I'll make her a sandwich. I'll give her cheese and but at night, he's been the past couple months he's been growing, doing some really funky sleep things, and it's really kind of screwed her at dinner. To the point where like it's dinner times is very stressful for her. So what I've had to been doing lately is going to McDonald's a lot for her at like 7:30, just get her,
She's like,
something
he's
because
finally asleep, I need to eat.
yeah, because it's like she can't be there during dinner time. A lot of the stuff that I'm able to cook involves
Oh,
cheese.
yeah,
We are doing
yeah.
grilled cheese, quesadillas, whatever, for me and the boys. And it's stuff that she can't have, and it's just and it's we have options, but it's just really hard. And then I make them, they go cold. She doesn't like when it's cold, so we had this little stint, and this is like I'm gonna say this, and it's not don't think negatively of my wife. We're having some really struggles right now, but we had a little stint the other week. I went to McDonald's 7 times in a row, 7 nights in a row. Okay, she orders the same thing. She likes the number one, the Big Mac, no cheese, and a 4-piece chicken nuggets. And it's not like my wife's not like a fat ass or anything. Like when she eats this stuff, she eats like half the Big Mac and eats like one or two nuggets. It's not like she's wolfing this food down, right?
Yeah.
But
She's satisfied and then moves on, you
yeah,
know?
but this is something I've been having to do for her over the past probably 2 months now. But usually it's only like 2 or 3 times a week. But we just had this stint where he went through a little growth spurt and it was really bad. So I kind of had to go almost every night. So it's I'm go through the drive-thru and I'm getting to the point where I'm getting embarrassed because I don't eat McDonald's. I don't really eat fast food outside of Chick-fil-A. I just don't. I'm not really a fan of fast food. So I know it's
The
surprising because I'm
only
a big
the
guy,
only
but
fast food that I will eat, and I consider this fast food, is, I'm not really into In-N-Out anymore. I'll eat it if that's, like, one of our better options,
yeah,
but I prefer the Habit. The Habit
yeah.
is,
See,
like, my
I don't count
go-to,
that as In and Out, or I don't count that as fast food.
but it's like the same, dude. It's like
Yeah,
it's
but it's
it's
fresh. It's
fresh
like freshly made.
and
That's
way
like In and
fresh.
Out,
Yeah,
and Chick-fil-A. They're fast food, but they're really not to me. You know.
they're upscale fast
Yeah,
food,
yeah. So
you know,
those
in
are
a
like the
sense.
only two.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't have a Habit around here, but Habit's one I would eat. But that's like Five
Habit's
Guys. I don't count. I don't really consider Five Guys
yeah,
fast food because it.
they're all kind of in the same category.
Yeah. So like, but like the Burger King, McDonald's, outside of Jack in the Box tacos, Jack in the Box, those ones I don't really eat that much. In a crunch here or there, I will, but I really try not to. And McDonald's is actually one I really don't like their food at all.
The funny thing is like the one that I really enjoy the food, but, like, I know what it does to your body, and I just can't go there is Taco Bell. Like, I
Okay,
really
so
enjoy
dude,
the
I
food,
had so
but,
Taco
like
Bell is one that I used to eat relatively often back in the day, and it used to go right through
yeah,
me, right?
it's one of those ones you call rental, dude. It's like, you don't even, like, get
Yeah.
to own that shit. Like, that
But
shit
dude,
just goes right through you.
there's something about that damn Crunchwrap Supreme
I know,
that
that's the
gets me
one,
every
dude.
time. Dude, so it's funny because I actually had a
That's
Crunchwrap
probably the
Supreme.
more well-balanced meals that they
Yeah.
serve to where it's like, it's probably not gonna move through you as fast as, like, a cheesy gordita crunch will move through you, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I actually had a Crunchwrap Supreme for the first time 2 nights ago in well over a year.
and it
Like
was
this is how
bomb, right?
much. Oh, so good. And but it, dude, it was the. I'm not kidding you. And not trying to get TMI here, but I really honestly think it was the first time I ate Taco Bell and I was not in the bathroom 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
Like I never even. It just worked, and I was just like, what is
Oh,
going on
yeah.
here? Like I'm so prepared. Like it's like okay, I got that urge. So I got to plan out my day, right? It's like, all right, I'm going to eat Taco Bell this time because I know that I'll be able to get home and get to the
Yeah,
bathroom within about 20
exactly,
minutes and I'll be
exactly.
good. And then you know what? I'll deal with the sacrifice. It's a
Yeah.
sacrifice, right? Or I'll deal with the consequences. Um,
They should have, like, Taco Bell coupons, like, in the same aisle of the grocery store that they have laxatives, you know?
yeah. Oh, dude, that
It's,
would be
like,
perfect.
basically the same,
Dude,
you
it'd be a
know?
great sales pitch. It's not a secret that Taco Bell goes through 95%
Oh,
of
I
the
know.
people. So,
I
but
know.
to get back on track here, you know, it's
Yeah,
I know some
do.
people are like, how can you have McDonald's that often? But it's you got to understand that we're just kind of in a funky situation. You know, we got
Yeah.
a kid that's full on, you know, doing virtual school right now. It just life's kind of in a crazy place. So
Well, and when you and I get it too, dude, when you've gone through a pregnancy and with a newborn, it's like, there are times when you just, like, you're
the
so
last thing you
spent,
want
you
to do
just
about
want
is
what you
food.
want.
Yeah.
You just
Well, and
want
the
what you
last
want.
thing you want to think about is food. And that's why because it's something that it's we've butted heads on it a lot because it's like I'm out here on barbecuing up burgers and stuff, and it's like she don't want the burger because by the time she's ready for it, it's cold and she don't like it reheated. And I get that, you know, and it's like
Right.
at McDonald's, she gets it. It's a warm meal. It's something simple. It's easy, and it's something that she can eat, and it doesn't affect him. And it's something that she can tolerate
Yeah.
the taste of. So you know, it is what it
No.
is right now. This isn't a freaking you know my 800-pound life scenario or anything. My wife's not a big girl
You
to
guys
that
wanna have
extent.
me,
It's not you know.
bomb, like, taquerias down the street like you used to or what?
No, dude, that's the thing that is the thing I hate the most about my move. The taquerias up here suck, bro. They're
Yeah.
all shit. They're even like I
Like,
mean,
Taco Bell
Guerrero's was my
probably,
go-to
like,
because they were
better
two.
option than some of those other ones, huh?
Dude, Guerrero's was my go-to because they were 2 blocks from me, and they were probably the
And
worst.
they were, like, legit, like, good food,
Yeah, I
you
mean it
know?
was decent, but to be honest, out of all the 700 taquerias in Pacifica, it was probably one of the lower ones. It was still great, but I mean, El Toro Loco is better. You know, Tres Amigos was better, I think. Like there were just better options, but they were 2 blocks away. I literally could walk there to get my dinner, you know?
Yeah, Happy Taco and Half Moon Bay is like it's up there for me right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, El Super is by far like the one of the
Yeah,
top ones,
El
but
Super Burrito, I tell you what, like, you ever have that thing where, like, you're typically like, "I'm this type of guy when I'm go to this type of restaurant, I always get this type of food,"
yeah,
but at the same time, when I go to that taqueria, I get this, when I go to this
yeah,
taqueria, I get that, when I go to that taqueria, I get that, rather than getting the same carne asada burrito at
yeah,
all 3,
oh yeah,
you know?
yeah,
It's like they all do something different better than the other person.
yeah.
It's like, I'll tell you the story, like, El Super Burrito, it's the only place I will get a California burrito,
Oh
and
yeah,
the California burrito is the one that has the french
the
fries
French
in it,
fries, yep, instead of rice.
and the only reason I get it there is because they're the only ones that do the french fries right.
Yeah, they
Like, they
make them
fry
crispy.
the french fries, like, exactly the way that you
Yeah,
would eat them normally and then just throw them in there, so it's
yeah,
not like you're getting potato chunks in your
yep,
burrito.
yeah.
You're getting legit french fries that
Yeah,
crunch in the
Guerrero's tried a California burrito and it was a fucking disaster, dude.
It was a
It was
flop,
horrible.
yeah. It was a flop, you
I
know?
never really got on that hype. Um,
But that's the
but
thing, I never did too, but somebody else got me one time 'cause they thought that I said this and they didn't, and I was like, "Whatever, I'll just eat, it's fine." Like, you know,
yeah,
like, "Whoa, my god, this is fucking amazing. Like, where'd
yeah,
you get this?" "Oh, El Super Burrito." It's like, "Okay, great. Like, let's
yeah,
do that."
yeah, yeah. But yeah. So up here, at least in my, I've heard there are some decent ones in Hillsboro that I just haven't got to. But in
Yeah, you're gonna have
my
to venture
area,
out and
I've tried about 7 or 8, and they're just, I don't even want them. There's one we get them from that it's all right, but it's still like there's just not that one that's like convenient to drive to, grab your food and bring it home. Like it's an
Oh,
adventure, right?
yeah.
So, but I have a list actually that I have to try, that a buddy at work gave me, that she said like my problem is I got to go to Hillsboro for them. So I'm gonna
Okay.
try that when this COVID
It
thing's
shouldn't be
over.
too far for you guys, you know?
I mean it's about a 20-minute drive, um, one way. So it'll be the type of thing that we'll want to probably eat there at least the first time.
Yeah,
So
check
we'll
it
see.
out.
But yeah, it's not what I was really disappointed when I got up here and realized that I think I'm just a little too far from the border now, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the skills don't travel that far. So anyways, let me get back
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, go back to the awkward part,
Yeah.
sorry.
So no, it's all good. It's been good stuff. So
This is a very awkward
because of
conversation
our
now.
difficult situation, again, the combination of the no real kitchen, Jack having some dairy deficiencies right now, and then his struggles, I've been having to get my wife McDonald's. So we had this stint the other night. I think it was actually 8 nights in a row. I went to McDonald's. The same
Damn.
person in the drive-through every single night. And that, I mean, this is not like my first 8 times ever. Like I've been there multiple times before. Like I have this kind of not relationship because it's a drive-through at McDonald's person, you know? Like it,
Yeah, exactly.
but we're starting to get that like, dude, you come here a lot, bro. Like I'm starting to get that look from her, right?
Oh, you're a regular.
But this is the thing, dude. This is where I'm a douchebag, right? Every single night, I do my Apple Pay. Would you like a receipt? I say no. I do my Apple Pay. Would you like a receipt? I say no. I do my Apple Pay. Would you like a receipt? I say no. Every single night, and I'm not kidding you, on night 8, she didn't ask me if I wanted a receipt, and my douchiness kicked in, and I looked at her square in the face, and I said, "Can I have my receipt?" And I'm not kidding you. She looked at me, and she fully masked. I could see in her eyes the "you piece of shit" look in her eyes, dude. And I did it. Stone faced serious.
Oh
Like,
my god.
can I have my receipt? And the way she handed it to me, I was like, God, please don't spit my wife's food, dude. Like it was
Yeah.
driving off. I honestly, for the first time doing something like that, I was like, that was really a dick move, dude. But I felt obligated to. Like it took her 8 nights in a row to finally catch the
Yeah,
drift that I
like
don't
there's
need the
something
damn
missing in
receipt.
here. There was
So
something
now I'm
missing.
like, this is my payback. You asked me this 7 times in a row, and then finally you don't. You better believe I'm getting a little payback on you. That's all. It's
Yeah.
all, you know.
Yeah.
So now I've gone a few
Yeah,
times since
luckily
then,
you didn't have
and we're
to
back to
receipt, you know?
Yeah. So, but now I've gone a few times since then, and we're back to our normal. Would you like a receipt? No. And I think we're just gonna stay at that. I think she'll never not ask me for a receipt again.
Well, next time she doesn't ask you a receipt, what you could say is, "So you're not gonna ask me if I want my receipt?"
Yeah. Oh no,
You know?
I'm definitely I'm gonna mess with this poor girl. She's nice. I'm just I'm just being a total troll. But it
Oh,
was just
sure.
like,
Here's this guy
man, it's
coming
just
to
one of those
McDonald's
things
again
like
at 6, 7 o'clock at night. Jesus Christ. You
it's
have a
just one of those
life?
things like I
Come
start
on.
you start getting that look like it's the total like you've been here every night this week. Like you good? You good? Like
Yeah.
no, this is not a normal thing. People don't come to McDonald's 8 nights in a row.
Pretty soon the McDonald's people are gonna be like, there's like a Wendy's down there and like,
That's the thing is I've tried to talk to Jen and it's like it's just a thing where for her like all the other fast food joints without cheese the food just sucks, but like the Big Mac is tolerable. I think it's probably because of the dressing on it, But
Yeah.
hopefully here, we actually just started Jack eating eggs and he's doing all right. So I think he's starting to get used to some dairy. So hopefully we'll get her back on some normal dinner stuff because she hates it too. Like she's getting to the point where she's just kind of forcing her to eat because she's hungry.
Yeah. I mean, you could do some alternatives, and do some testing too. Like
Yeah.
like we eat a lot of. I mean, like I've said mentioned before, we're a non-dairy household, so if you need any recommendations on cheese or butter or things like that, like we found it all. And trust me, dude, like I'm a guy who still eats cheese and dairy outside of the house,
Yeah.
but I'll eat the vegan options in here. And I don't notice much different. Like they've gotten some of this stuff pretty well dialed in to where it's not like bad tasting. It
Yeah.
sounds like, oh yeah, I'm eating something vegan. It's like, but it's really good and it's actually good for you, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
I think the
let me know.
biggest hurdle is just that you still have to cook with that stuff, and that's the hurdle is the cooking side. But
To an
we have the
extent,
tools
you know?
to cook some basic things. So
Well, I mean, it's
yeah.
like think about it. It's like if you're gonna use butter, you're buying this butter instead of that butter. It's the
Yeah.
same, or like if you're gonna cook with cheese, like you're gonna use this cheese instead of that cheese. It's not like you're doing not a lot of extra. You're
Yeah.
just you're buying an alternative instead, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
cool, man.
That's all. That's all I got.
Nah, that's pretty awkward. And you're set up for like multiple awkward encounters like in
Oh
the
yeah.
future.
Oh yeah. No,
Like,
I've made every single encounter from here on forward is awkward now. Because
yeah.
now she's asked me for the receipt, but she's asked me with the look in her eyes. Oh, this jackass again.
You just gotta play more games. Like you gotta almost like they gotta show up in a different car next time.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, like
you
I've
gotta like
started like because you work when you work you have your flow, right? So like she
yeah,
does this she asks the same questions through the mic and
yeah.
everything. So like I've had the moments where like I've said it how she's gonna ask it, right? And I missed something, but I'll be like, and that'll be a sweet and sour
Sauce,
sauce,
yeah.
right? And then but like I'll say it right as she's about to ask what sauce. And there's been a couple times where I've thrown her off, and she's actually been like, "And what sauce did you?" Okay, sweet. Like I totally like I'm torturing this girl at this point, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I've been
so
there
yeah,
too.
I'm playing my little mind game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
kinda
hope
like when
that
you're at a restaurant with, like, 6 people and they, like, all order before you and it gets to you, and you know she's gonna ask you what kind of dressing you want on your salad, like, you're just gonna say it beforehand.
yeah
You don't need to I don't need you to ask me the
yeah
question. I know it's coming, you know?
yeah
It's
yeah.
like,
So
it is what it is.
it's actually gotten to the point now where there's those few nights where it's someone else and I'm like, oh man, damn
Yeah.
it. I had an idea for what I was gonna say tonight. Now I can't do it.
I know, man. I
I'm
know.
just the McDonald's local jackass right now.
Yeah, you take the cake for sure. Or sorry, you take the McFlurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I took the McFlurry. Man, those things are good.
You should order one of those next time.
Did
It'd
you know
be
what sucks?
really
They actually they dropped a hot and spicy McChicken, which I'm like, I think I kind of
it's
need to
good.
try this thing, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
I
I tell you
hate
what, dude,
McDonald's, dude. I
I
hate their food.
I'm not a fan, to be honest, but, like, one thing that I do go to McDonald's for every once in a blue moon, is
If
I
you
know
say
people say
that
this
fish
all
sandwich, I'm not friends with you anymore.
I'm not a fish guy, dude, don't
Okay,
worry.
thank God, dude.
Uh,
That the cult following behind that
no.
fish fillet fish I don't even know what it's called. Jesus
Filet-o
Christ.
fishes,
That's
you know?
yeah, filet o
Or
fish.
Remember Doug Benson? Filet-O fishes. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
but his whole routine about like the breakfast menu, like what do you mean? Like, is there a Brinks truck that shows up at 10:30 and just load all the breakfast stuff in the
Yeah,
back and like
dude,
I
that's like
can't
the
eat
age old
it.
question. Like, who thought, like, you know what? Not 10, not 11, 10:30.
Yeah,
Like,
not a
why
minute later,
10:30?
you know?
It has to be something that has to do with like church starting it. That's the only thing I can think of. It's like
Yeah,
in this guy's family, like, oh, church was at 10:30, so we got to be done with breakfast before 10:30.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that just
Perfect time
is,
for a burger at 10:35.
yeah,
It's like yeah, but
I had that encounter many years ago where I like showed up at McDonald's like at 10:35, and I'm like, you're telling me there's not a hash brown left in there somewhere that you
yeah,
can't sell to me? That
exactly,
you're really
exactly.
telling me that you just at 10:30 you
Like,
sold
is that gonna
everything and
take
you're done?
longer than fries if you just dip it in the oil a little bit?
Yeah,
Like, come on,
yeah,
come on,
yeah.
you know?
Well, I guess like
But no, I will.
I think it's like cooked in different oil and stuff too.
Who knows, dude?
But
But
yeah,
I will go to McDonald's every once in a while for the breakfast, and I usually it's like if I know I've got like, cause like I like lunch at work is like one of my favorite like me time moments where like I said, like we eat really nice and healthy at home, and it's
yeah,
like my opportunity to kind of like fly the coop a little bit. So so if I've got like meetings like around where like lunchtime normally would be, or if like it's gonna be too busy, I'm like, "Shit, I gotta get something in my stomach earlier," and then, like, maybe I'll get, like, a late lunch, and then usually those days, I'll hit up McDonald's and I get the chicken McGriddle,
okay,
dude.
yeah.
So and,
I
like,
was just gonna
I was like
say,
I've tried the McGriddle before, but, like, when they introduced the chicken one, I was like, "I gotta do this because I love the chicken sandwich." I don't know what the hell they make the McGriddle out of, just, like, take a syringe and, like, inject, like,
yeah,
syrup in
I
there or
think that's
whatever the
yeah.
hell it is, but, like, it is bomb,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
funny you say that because I was gonna say that one of the one things that I do actually like, I don't really get them because they're so bad for you, but is I like the sausage McGriddle with
Yeah,
literally just the sausage patty and the bread,
it's
not
good.
the egg and cheese one,
No,
just the
yeah, I
sausage
do the
McGriddle.
just the chicken one, which
Yeah,
is actually pretty
yeah,
bomb,
and
you
it's
know?
because the bread and syrup in the bread is just so
Pancakes,
freaking
man.
good, dude. Yeah,
It's like, dude, you ever try to make a fucking pancake sandwich at home? Like, you'll never make it as good, and this one's, like, less than $2. It's
yeah,
like, something about it. It's
yeah.
like,
Dude, when they finally started doing like their partial breakfast all day meal and the McGriddle was on that, I was on like I think that was around the time we got married, and I was just like, "You guys gotta do this to me now? You're telling me I can get this at any time of the week when I'm trying to look good for a wedding?
exactly,
Any time of day I can
exactly,
get a McGriddle,
yeah.
and I can't even eat the damn thing."
"Can I get 3 for lunch, please?" You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind
They
of
always
like
do
a
that. Anytime like I try to like lose weight or something, something freaking amazing comes out. Like
yeah,
this
yeah,
time around when I was like, all right, it's time to hit the switch. I'm walking down the freaking aisle and they got these goddamn chips chips ahoy cookies with Reese's peanut butter cup pieces. And I'm
yeah,
like, fuck you guys.
I
So that,
know.
for me it's like, all right, well, we're starting tomorrow because we gotta at least
Yeah,
try them.
yeah,
We gotta
yeah,
try
yeah,
them, and then
exactly.
we'll start the diet. What's one
Diet
more
starts
day?
tomorrow.
What's one more day?
And you gotta eat the whole bag because you don't want them to be
Well, yeah,
available
because you're gonna
tomorrow,
start tomorrow, so you can't
Yeah,
have any left over for tomorrow.
exactly.
So you eat
Otherwise, you're delaying your progress even
yeah,
more.
yeah. So 30 cookies one night. Wake up in the middle of the night with some stomach problems, and then you start the diet first thing in the morning. We're good to go. That's the way to
Amen.
do it.
All done.
Good to go. You know.
Fuck, dude. All right, man. I think that's a wrap for this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good, man. What I don't
Oh,
even know
man.
what episode is this? 13?
This is
13.
the Baker's Dozen, yeah,
Okay.
episode 13. So,
In the books. All right. Well, everyone,
yeah,
thank you
man.
for chilling. I like this was a fun one, man. We just completely rambled, but it
Let
was
it
good.
fly. Let's let it go, man.
Yeah. Like, subscribe if you guys are listening on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, or Google. Thank you for listening. Check us out on Twitter or Instagram. Still waiting for some topics from you guys to talk on. Let's get involved. So
Yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're checking us out on YouTube. It
yeah.
does help us out to know that, our viewership is growing. And yeah, we definitely want you to join the conversation, drop some comments, let us know you got some questions or you want us to talk about something or elaborate on anything we previously talked about. So hit us up.
Yeah, and then we have the clip site too. On those busy weeks where you might not be able to listen to the entire podcast, check out the clips. We last couple weeks we've been a little slow on it just because we both we're full-time dads and work and have jobs, but we drop clips pretty often, so check that out as well. Yeah, and that's it. I'm out. We're out.
Yeah, peace. Have a good one.